the city of Houston, to obtain and learn about the free resources that are available through our SCORE Houston location, as well as understand the resources that are available here for you at HCC. As Robbie explained earlier, there's a plethora of opportunities for you to get educated, as well as training, as well as resources, including employees for your business. So this month's topic is the certification. So it's probably why it's sticking here, because it's one of the very popular subjects here in Houston. We are, as you may have found out, the largest port in the United States as of this year. And so that means there's a lot of business coming our way. And therefore, you have to get ready to receive that income. We're going to explain some of that during today. Certification is one of the first ways to get started. Again, my name is Jada Harris. I am a certified SCORE mentor. I provide subject matter expertise in contract management, accounting, QuickBooks, as well as home health care. So if you're wanting to get mentoring in those areas, you would reach out to SCORE on our houston.score.org website, which then you would select a mentor, and then they would connect you to me to have a discussion about those areas. With that being said, we're in person because we want you to be involved. We want you to ask questions. We want you to about contracts, vendor registration, resources, all that good stuff. We could easily do this as a webinar, which we're also doing this virtually for people that can't make it here. But we purposely made this as an in-person so we can get your questions answered in person. I'll let Dr. Ravi go ahead and, excuse me, I got to put y'all together. Oh my goodness, Dr. Jackson, go ahead and provide information about the city of Houston.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Portia Jackson. I'm the Business Development Manager with the city of Houston. I'm not the director. My paycheck says that. But anyway, glad to be here with you all and to talk about certification today. And I do have a presentation, but I'm not going to do the presentation. We're just going to touch on some things because it's just easier for you to see it on the screen than for me to rattle off a lot of different titles and things like that. So just happy to be here, and we'll get into it in a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so again, we have Ravi, who is can provide you with his introduction.
Sure. And what I'll do for the camera, I'll switch it from y'all and see if I can make it face me. So yeah, my name is Ravi Brahmat. You've introduced me already, but for the recording, the purpose of this recording is we understand you, along with our students, would appreciate this on YouTube transcribed. So if you're ever searching for it, it's available. We believe in providing relevant and accurate information directly from the source. So we're so thankful for our partners at SCORE and at the Office of Business Opportunity for coming out here in Missouri City and providing this relevant information and accurate education, right? So gets us to the source. We know we record it, we put it on YouTube. We have a channel, HCC Elevation Lab, and we post all our content there. We have everything from our pitch competitions to our veterans leadership pitch competition that we're doing to just events like our hackathons. Again, it's a goal for us is to make all this information available so that anybody searching, they can find it and not miss out. But we always encourage in person because you obviously get more up to the date information. So, all right, now if it turns out that we are out of seats here, I'll run to 119 because I did reserve, 219, and I'll start an overflow room. So that's my job. I'm the guy who solves problems for the Center for Entrepreneurship. I wear the hat as a director. I got this position about 6.5 or 7 years ago. I pitched it to the chancellor and the vice chancellor, and they said, "Hey, that sounds cool. Do it." So here I am. My goal is to help start and grow businesses. We have over 150 students started businesses out of HCC since our formation. We've had students go and win national science competitions out of our center. We became #1 in the country just last year for the National Science Foundation for ideas that our students are creating. But also HCC in general has received multiple awards as being the entrepreneurial college in the past 4 years because of this focus and effort in investing and working and collaborating with our partners in the city. So start or grow businesses. So if you're looking for any, HCC is a massive institution. Left, right doesn't know what's happening. So usually you need a navigator. So you could call me your navigator. I could try to help you find the resources within HCC or at least guide you in the right direction. There's over 4,000 full-time employees, 70 buildings, as I shared earlier to some of you, that HCC operates throughout the Houston region. This is one of 70 buildings, right? It's a massive building here too. And guess what? All that land belongs to HCC, and they're likely to build more stuff in this community. So that's the power of a community college. I hope you engage with it. We offer over 140 programs at any given day, anything from drama, dancing, pottery making to artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and so on. So I think we're getting close to having no chairs left. Right? So I may give up my chair. But that's HCC, and we'll pass it back to you. We certainly really appreciate the partnership with SCORE and OBM.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we're going to jump right into minority certifications. And so I'm going to go ahead and hand the baton over to Dr. Jackson, and I'm here to supplement. Okay.
Okay. You just push this down.
Yes.
All right, folks. So here's my contact information. Should you have any questions afterwards about certification, the QR code will take you to my LinkedIn account. That's where I like to play. So definitely connect with me there. The best way to reach me is either through LinkedIn or via email, as I'm not always by the phone to answer it. And so questions. So how many people are already certified by anybody?
One.
Oh
Wow.
One. What certifications do you have?
Well, I'm not certified to the city yet. I'm working on it. Veteran certification.
Okay.
Certified as a veteran business.
Okay. Okay, cool. So we got a whole fresh
Yes.
crowd.
Yes, we
Okay,
do.
cool. So this is all new information for y'all. So,
Oh, I like that quote.
oh
you
yeah,
have on
let me
there.
go.
Yeah.
Oh boy, you go back. Here we go.
Yeah.
So when we talk about certifications, this quote from Elizabeth Warren is pretty good. It says, "If you don't have a seat at the table, you're probably on the menu," right? And then there's another quote that I like.
Okay.
It's not on here, but and I will give this to whoever can tell me who said it.
Okay.
This person said, "If you don't have a seat at the table, bring a folding chair."
Oh, I like that.
Who said that?
Anyone know?
I heard it. Yes, Shirley Chisholm.
You're
Shirley
huffing it.
Chisholm.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
All right, I like
Okay.
that.
And so
I don't like being on the menu. I want to see it. Getting a certification gives you a seat at the table.
yes.
Absolutely.
And so when we talk about the table of opportunities and working on contracts. And so what certification provides for you, first of all, do you have to be certified to do business with a government agency?
No.
No, you don't. But the certification helps you to participate on the large contracts. And so when we talk about having a seat at the table, your participation at that table on those large contracts is your key to growing and scaling your business. And so Certification, these are the benefits of certification, specifically for the city of Houston. We put you in a directory once you're certified. That directory is a public directory. Folks from all over, whether they are doing business with us, the city of Houston, or wherever, in the private sector or the public sector, they utilize our directory to find certified businesses. It's an easy way. A lot of times people have to, in order to win a contract, they may need to work with a certified business, or to look favorable, I'm coming, they may look to find a certified business. So how do they find them? They go to directory. Our directory is very comprehensive. You can search, they can search by NAICS codes. How many people know what NAICS codes are? Okay, so NAICS codes are the codes that identify your products or services. They can search by that. They can put in description. If they wanted to put in landscaping, they could put in landscaping and it will bring up those folks. They can search by different certifications to be able to find those businesses, to reach out to them and contact them. So by being certified, it gives you more exposure for more opportunities. Yes, sir, in the back.
I was going to ask the slides you made up there.
You can't see it?
I can see them.
I will get them to you. I was just joking. And so, oh, also we have specialized business development programs for certified firms. Again, it gives you exposure to the larger contracts. And when we talk about spending, and actually that says 32%, I think we're at, I want to get all of our percentages, we're at 32.4 now. So, and utilizing small businesses. And so when we look at the contract goals, that's just the standard goal of contracts for the city of Houston. So what you'll see is construction, 34% standard for contracts over $1 million, goods and services, 11% standard for contracts over 100, and then professional services. Professional services are any type of services that are needed that you have to have a license for. So think about being an attorney, engineering, architecture. You have to have a license in order to provide those services. Okay. This is what I want to get to. So these, we talk about certifications. This is what we're talking about. Minority-owned certifications, race, woman-owned, gender, small business, that is any industry. And what qualifies you as a small business is based off the SBA standards, the industry size. So what may be small in construction may not be small in consulting. Yes. So, and there's some different factors that go in, and your next codes will reveal kind of where you stand in that. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, did you say that we are going to do it?
Yes. If you're on Robbie's list, yes. If you're not, then probably want to get on that list. Okay. So then the next one is PDBE, which is persons with disabilities. So that typical certification, when you see that on our contracts, it's going to be typically 1%, opposed to the other ones that we saw. So anyone who has a disability, we just need an affidavit from your doctor. This is where our disabled veterans will fall into as well. Now, M, W, S, and PDBE are all local certifications. When we say local, that means those are recognized by local government. When we move into DBE, which is Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, that is a certification where there's federal dollars involved. And so the DBE is race and gender neutral, such like the SBE as well. The DBE is it's economically based. So this is the caveat that a lot of people fall under, is because in order to be, one of the main requirements for DBE is that you have to have personal net worth of less than 1.32 million, minus your residence and the investments that you have in your business. Is that a lot of people?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, it is. So you always have that certification if you don't fall into any of the other categories. Then you have ACDBE, and that's what we offer if you, in regards to the airport. So that's airport concessions. So does everybody know what concessions are when we're talking about concessions? So like your retail, so when you go to the airport, you may see the restaurants there, you may see the mat counters, the little convenience stores that charge you an arm and a leg for a
My
sandwich.
goodness.
All of those are concessions. And so this certification will help you when you see that. So when we talk about concessions, if you've ever wondered, how do I get into the airport? They actually put those spots up for bid. And so it may be, they may designate that we're looking for a restaurant, and they might say we're looking for either a Tex-Mex restaurant, Italian restaurant, barbecue restaurant. It could be that specific, or it could be something where they say we have retail space. Tell us what you got. And so that's where a lot of folks can get creative and come into that space. And then the last one is HUB, historically underutilized business certification. And that is used from the state. That's issued by the state of Texas. And so those are all of the certifications that the city can provide for you. It just requires you to fill out an application. Do you think the application is long or short?
Long.
It's long, right? Why? Why do you think it's so long? No, it's not to weed people out. We don't charge you anything for this certification.
Everything is aligned.
Exactly.
That you're gonna
Right.
promote it.
Right.
City.
Yes. We're trying to make sure that you're legitimate.
Yes.
Because you wouldn't believe how many fake documents come in. You wouldn't believe how many people that are large companies that don't fit with any of these categories will try to pose as one of those. Some small businesses get taken advantage of because they think they're being helped, but they're actually being used from a larger company who's trying to take advantage of certifications to gain more opportunity. So when we ask for those documents, it's to make sure that you are exactly who you say you are. So I think I have, so any questions on these certifications? I'm gonna move to a checklist so you can kind of see what documents we're talking about.
I have a question. So I applied for the hub and I was denied because they said I could live in like the city or county that falls under that. So I'm like, should I change my address to a different place to make sure I get it, or
A legitimate address?
Yeah.
So I was a little taken aback with it.
For the
Yeah.
hub? I mean, you live in Texas, right?
Yeah, it's in Texas.
Yeah.
I think guys, I guess maybe like you're saying, like they saw something they felt wasn't accurate or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is,
Mhm.
so I wasn't really given a real reason. I guess.
Okay.
Okay, so if you reach out through SCORE to me, so find your SCORE mentor and then ask to have a connection with me. Then we can kind of review and look over the application to see what you're looking for. So what I will say about these certifications or the certification process. So at SCORE, I do provide mentoring in this area. They're asking for a lot, okay? And it is like Dr. Jackson said, it is to make sure that you are a legitimate business as well as making sure that your documents are in order. A couple of the things that they ask for is the last 3 years of your financials as well as your tax returns. They want to make sure that those two match. If your financials don't match your tax returns, they're going to want to know why. They may or may not ask you as you experience. They may just deny you. So there's a lot of steps, especially it's going to show the next slide, where it shows you, depending on your business organization, sole proprietors, S corp, corporation, what documents you need to submit. If you're a partnership, both of your partners, or all of the partners need to submit information. So these are some things that you should keep in consideration when you're applying for the certification. As we've said every month for the last almost 2 years, this is not a sprint. This is a journey. It's a process. If you really are serious about doing business with the government, which is very lucrative, and like she's explained, there's millions, if not billions of dollars available to minority certification that has goals associated with it that is being untapped because there are organizations like yours that are not certified. So, or have not applied for the bids. So there's a prime opportunity for you here. I believe we had another question here in the corner.
There is a request from the overflow room.
Okay.
Repeat the
Oh,
question.
we're in overflow
Because it doesn't get the record. Yeah, we have people.
Okay.
Yeah. There's at
What
least
was the
about
question?
four in there.
Yeah, what question?
There's at least four in there. But
That was fine.
whatever the question you have, just
Okay.
repeat it for the
Okay,
audience.
Yeah,
moving
that thing was
forward, we
the hub.
did.
Your audio is not captured. Only the speaker's audio.
So
Oh,
repeat
yeah.
the question when it, okay. All
Yes,
right.
Yes.
repeat this. so
Okay.
that-
Sorry, overflows.
You had a question?
Yes, so in terms of the financial, but if you were just starting, right, you're not gonna have a lot of that.
Yes.
Right? So how does that play into, or is there?
So you will provide what you have available?
Yeah, repeat that question.
Okay, I'm sorry. So repeating the question, for businesses who have not been in business for very long, what do you do when you cannot provide, say, 3 years of financial statements? Is that your question, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you're gonna provide everything that you have and then provide the explanation, or they'll see that you have not been in business for more than 3 years. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect.
When you are completing the application, if there's something that does not apply to you, when we say does not, that doesn't mean it does apply to me, but I don't have the information. That's it does not apply to you, then you're gonna always upload an explanation of why it does not apply to you. Don't leave anything blank.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and blanket this. If you have been in business for 3 years and you don't have financial statements, that means that question applies to you. And there's no, that means that you are not compliant, or that that you're missing the information. What she's saying is that if you haven't been in business for 3 years, then there's no financial statements to submit. Therefore, you would provide an explanation. Yes, sir.
Can we apply for multiple categories of these items? Or what is the advantage of applying for multiple?
Okay. So the question is can you apply for multiple of these certifications? The answer is yes. So when you go into the system, you'll create one profile for the certification, but there's 2 separate applications. So MWS, MP, DBE, and Hub are all on one application. The DBE and ACDBE are on the other application. So what it requires when you go into the first one, you'll need to check all the boxes. So you're going to check whether you're applying for MWS. I tell everybody, if you think you qualify for all of them, check all those boxes. Because what you don't want to do is, if you're a minority woman and you only apply for minority, you get that, and then somebody says, I have an opportunity, but I need a WBE and not an MBE. You just can't go back and say, oh, let me call them and tell them to add that to my file. No, you gotta fill out another application and go through the whole process again. So make sure that you check all those different boxes. And then the other application is gonna be for the DBE and ACDBE, and you'll just check that you want both of them. I can tell you now, we need more firms to be DBE certified. There's a lot of work coming that is going to be specific for goals with DBE goals on it. So we want to encourage you to get DBE certified. We want to encourage you to get certified altogether, but don't miss out on that DBE. The DBE is going to be a shorter application because if it's different, it's dealing with federal funding, but please just knock them out at the same time. And just to go back to with the documents that we need, one thing that some people use the certification for is for legitimacy. And what I mean by that is they might not take advantage of the goals that are on various different contracts. Government procurement might not be their thing, but they'll get certified anyway because people feel more comfortable with dealing with them as a business owner because they know they've been certified by the city. Why? Because they know that we have checked all of those documents to make sure that they are an actual business and who they say they are. So just keep that in mind as you're looking for those documents. And in doing business in general, we've touched on this a lot from the various webinars or podcasts that we've done, is that you want to always put your best foot forward as a business. No one should have to question your legitimacy as a business. And so having those documents, it may seem like a lot of documents, but if you're doing business, you should know where those documents are. You should know what your financial statements are, and you should know what those financial statements mean, because you're not going to be able to have large contracts if you can't tell anybody how much you make. You don't know your profit margin. You don't know any of that.
So if you're interested in doing business with Shell, Exxon, I mean, we're in oil and gas, right? Energy corridor, the healthcare system. We're the fourth largest medical center in the United States. I mean, the money's here, guys. So
I
if
think
you're,
we're the largest.
are we
medical
now?
center.
Okay, all
I
right.
think.
So we're
I'm
gonna
just
come
gonna
up
say
again.
that.
All right,
We're the
then.
largest medical center.
And so with that being said, what you're saying is that, you know, even though they have no interest of meeting a goal because they're so large, they don't need to meet a goal, but because they know that you've gone through the coals of getting certified through the city, for example, then they feel more apt to onboard you as a possible collaboration, doing business with you because you have been certified.
And keep in mind too, when we talk about that hub certification, that's a state certification. Yes. So all your state institutions are going to look for you to be hub certified. Yes. So when we talk about state institutions, we're talking about colleges, universities, and also the different hospitals in the medical center. And so there's a huge project that's happening now, but they're doing a whole bunch of renovation. I think it's called TMC3 or something like that. It's a big project with the medical center that's happening right now, and they're looking for. Huh?
Helix?
Oh, Helix. Okay. So there's really a lot of opportunities that's going. Some of the prime contractors, because everybody know what a prime contractor is. A prime contractor is the business that has a direct contract with the agency. And so I can tell you, I believe Turner Construction Company has a contract with MD Anderson for that TMC3 project, and they are looking for subs, right? And they're looking for certified subs. And because they're working on MD Anderson, state institution, you got to be hub certified for that. So always keep in mind when you're doing business and there's a goal, a contract goal, know what certifications they're looking for and then who they accept those certifications from, because not everybody is looking for you to be MBE. And some people, and not everybody's looking for you to be hub. If you're talking about doing business with TxDOT, Department of Transportation, they're looking for you to be DBE. So just keep in mind when you're looking at those opportunities, what certifications they're asking for, and then who they accept them from. As a tidbit, who does the city accept certifications from? Which other agency will accept their certification?
Metro.
He says Metro. Does anybody else have a guess? What certifications will the city accept? So I'll put you out of your misery. We don't accept anybody's certifications but ours. So if we have a goal on a contract, an MBE goal, you need to be MBE certified by us. Otherwise, that doesn't count for us. Okay? There was some questions.
Yeah, shoot.
Yes. I understand that it's just to present a documentation. It takes a while if you don't have it in place.
Mm-hmm.
But once you go through that branch, how do you go and how long does it take for you to become certified? The classes and everything.
Okay, so there's one class that's recommended. Gotta repeat the question. The question is how long does the process take for certification, and a question about the classes associated with certification. We have one class, the pre-certification. Did I put that on here? So we have a pre-certification workshop that happens every first and third Tuesday of the month. First Tuesday is going to be virtual. Third Tuesday is going to be virtual or in person. You can choose. And you only have to take the class one time. You really don't have to take it, but it's highly recommended because it's going to walk you through all the different documents that you're going to need. We find that people who do take that class have an easier process because when you submit that application, if we got to call you, or we don't call you, but if we got to email you to ask you for more documents, guess where you go? At the bottom. We go to the next person who's up. And so your process will be delayed longer. So the estimated process for our certification is about 6 months. However, we do have a fast track option if you register to be a vendor with the 2024 college playoff games, which they are looking for certified firms specifically for a lot of opportunities. They have opportunities as far as they need flowers, decor, entertainment, audiovisual, construction, a whole laundry list of things that they need. And they're going to be looking for certified vendors now all the way until January 8th when the games are played. And so you have to be certified. So in conjunction with that, if you register to be a vendor with them, we can fast track your certification so that you don't miss out on any opportunities with them. And of course, you have that certification so you're prepared for other opportunities.
So let me state this. You need to become a registered vendor of the city as a part of the process. They're going to ask you for that in the certification application. So that's a separate process. It's not something that's combined together.
Probably take a quick second. Is that
Oh, sure.
Hi,
I'm Lily McIntyre, the campus manager here. This is unbelievable. This is great. I am so glad. And then we have something huge. This is getting the word out, right?
They told their friends.
And thank you for doing it too. And you for coming.
let her know more. She's on campus here, 5 days a week. So if you like more of this, just let her know.
Really?
And also, yeah. Okay. Sorry for the noise.
We need your assistance.
Yes,
anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll have it until I take a photo with Ms. McIntyre.
Okay.
The rest of the group.
Okay.
We're gonna make sure we get a lot more resources out of this.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Right. We'll make sure we get more resources so this doesn't happen. There you go. All right. What do you need, my assistant? Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
so we had another question over here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
My question was, I was recently on another training that was regarding the WBE. So I don't know the difference. I didn't know it was like the city and state level. I know they were saying that some of those were statewide, well, nationally. So is that the same or is it separate?
So the city of Houston is not the only agency that certifies in these various different areas.
Okay.
So you can get certified by the WBEA. They'll do a WBE certification. There's a lot of different agencies that offer certifications.
But they usually charge part of their membership.
They do.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
all charge as well?
No, our certification, our process is free. All it is your time. Now there are people who pay other folks to do their certification, but that we're not charging. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. So that goes back to me when I made the statement that when you are looking to take advantage of goals, always make sure whatever agency you're working with, you know what certifications they accept and who they accept them from.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to know, how can we register for the certification class next week? And how can we register for the 2024 playoff?
Sure. So the question is, how do you register for the certification class next week? Okay. So you'll see there at the top that HoustonTX.gov/OBO/certification. overview. You click there and you'll be able to register for the pre-certification workshop. A picture. Okay, well, maybe
Okay.
do I have it somewhere?
Or you guys now.
Yeah.
The subtitles.
Almost,
Yes. There we go. Let's try that again.
Okay, now we go there.
Okay, try it.
Now, there we go.
Now, can everybody see it?
Yes, thank you.
I guess you could also just Google Houston certification OBO. And that may be a link that shows up.
Yeah, or you can just go to our website, houstontx.gov/OBO, and click on certifications. It's there.
OBO is Office of Business Opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
OBO.
Is that where we also register for the 2024?
So for the 2020 playoff, you can scan that QR code there, and that'll take you there. Uh-oh.
We'll bring it back.
That's all.
Well, that's QR code.
That was right.
Oh, right there.
Is that the QR code? Okay.
Yes. This is a QR
But I
code
should
where
take
you,
a picture of all you taking pictures.
you can go.
This is like, look at the world we're in today. Everyone's got a phone and trying to take a picture.
This is where you can go to register for the 2024 playoff game. You can see there it's listed all the different areas that are going to need assistance in contracts. This is a great way for you to gain business and to build your capacity, because you could say you have done business with the national playoff game, college championship. So that's huge to be able to be a part of that. And with that, I don't know why I keep ducking like I'm hiding. Anyway, so when you are completing the application, when you get to section 5.F in the certification application, when you get the certification application, section 5.F is in Frank, you put in 2024 college playoff game. That's our cue to make sure that we fast track your application so you can take advantage of being a vendor here. So you got to register to be a vendor here. Then when you fill your certification application, make sure you put that so we know to fast track your application.
There's a question in the other room that got texted to me. How long does it take to get certified once the application is submitted?
So it could take up to 6 months, but you want to make sure that you can get it fast tracked by becoming a vendor for the 2024 and then putting this in. If not, it can take up to 6 months. Again, it could take longer if they have to contact you for any reason of some documents that were not filled out correctly.
So through my business, I also have a business called Harrison Company. I help businesses get certified. I have clients, especially construction, that have taken almost a year to get certified. I have certifications in all of those that she had up there, and it took me 3 months because I'm consulting. So the difference is that the type of business that you offer, the type of industry that you're in, because they have designated people that cover that area. And so if you can imagine, with all the construction that we have in our area, there's a lot of certifications going through. Whereas consulting, there may be, much fewer certifications. So it just all depends on the industry that you're in.
It's the industry, and also different businesses are set up different ways. So some businesses are very complex. So the more complex your business is, it's going to take more than to go through the various documents to make sure that you are who you say you are. Yes, ma'am.
I have 2 questions. First, you mentioned about being registered as a vendor first. That is a must.
Mm-hmm.
Did you provide us where we would do that for the city of Houston?
Yes. So no, I did not. So the question is, how do you get registered as a vendor for the city of Houston? You would go to the OBO website, Office of Business Opportunities website, and you can get registered as a vendor there. There's also what's known, and I'm adding to this, there's also what's known as Hire Houston First. And that's another opportunity for you to be reviewed prior to anyone else that's applying for the same bid that you're applying for. So because we're the largest port in the United States now, there's business coming from all over the world trying to get this business. So instead of them, they may have a better bid than yours, but because you are Higher Houston First, registered as Higher Houston First, they will look at your
So
business.
that's two registrations.
Yes, yes,
And
ma'am.
then also.
So let me add to that too. So when we talk about different registrations, so you have certification is one system to be certified. To do business with the city of Houston, because anybody can do business with the city of Houston. Remember from the top, you don't have to be certified to do business with the city of Houston, but you have to be a registered vendor. Any government agency that you're going to do business with is going to require you to be a registered vendor. The port is going to require you to be a registered vendor with the port. City of Houston is going to require you to be a registered vendor with the city of Houston. And so when you start the certification process, they're going to ask you for your vendor number. So it's going to field you back if you're not already a registered city vendor to complete that. That process is still free. It's a whole lot quicker because what you're doing is creating a profile and you're going to pick your NIGP codes. Next codes and NIGP codes, pretty much the same thing, different systems. So you'll pick those codes and that's where you'll keep. And so keep in mind when you register to be a vendor, as well as when you apply for certification, those codes, you can pick more than one code. Whatever you do, make sure that all of your services or products, you have the right code for it. Because that can deter you from doing business if you don't have the code for your business. In the certification, we're going to check to make sure that you're able to do what you say you can do for that. So just keep that in mind.
And what I'll also say is that because there's a lot of, or no, let me say not a lot of, there are situations where crimes will select you because you are a minority owned business and you don't have the correct NIG. You cannot add it. Like she said, you'll have to reapply to add that information. So make sure, even if you just dabble in it, like sometimes I do notary, I put that on my list just in case. So select all the ones that are pertinent to your business at that time.
Yes.
Okay, you had a second question.
Yes, ma'am. And the sign up sheet, I don't know exactly where it is now, but I will make sure I'm on.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Okay, and
So,
I think she was
who's
next.
next?
You got it? Okay.
Who else?
Okay, he was next.
So those codes, are they transient, federal, local, they're just, that's a baseline?
Yeah, it's like a
set of
national
That's,
coding system.
Now, there is a coding system with the state of Texas that they have other codes. So the NIGP codes, NICS codes, they are important, but then there's another, as far as Texas, there are some more commodity codes. If you're interested in a hub that you would have to be concerned with. Okay. And those are all Google. Uncle Google is your friend. Those of you who've seen me on the other webinars, use it. Google NIGP codes, it'll pull up, you'll be able to search for it and get the codes that you need.
And what I tell people, the easiest way is if you know a company that provides similar services to yours and they're certified or a vendor, just look them up, copy their codes and put them in yours.
That's it.
You said NIGP is in Warren.
He is in Paul.
And so when you go to our website, so the strictly vendor website for the city of Houston is purchasing.houstontx.gov. When you go to that website, you'll be able, there's a NIGP code directory. You can look there for your particular codes, and you can also search the other folks who have those codes, and you can just grab them from there. If you happen to get in your business and you expand, just go to your profile and then you'll just fill out a form to add those codes to your profile.
Okay, question from the other room, can you provide some more detail about the audit, field audit or site visit? What if you have a home office?
Oh, wow. So they are referring to this slide here. So this is the certification process. You see that pre-certification that we talked about, workshops at the top. So this is where the process that your application goes. When you get to the desk audit, they're looking at your various documents, checking your references, financial audit, your statements, field audit, site visit. They're gonna come out and make sure that you actually have a location. If you do have a home office, it will probably be a virtual site visit. But if they do have to come out, then they do have to come out to your home.
So when I got my certifications, which was 3 years ago, I was work from home. I'm still work from home, but I have a virtual office as well, or a co-working space now. At that time, they didn't do a site visit. They didn't show up. I just automatically got an email and said, you've been approved. More than likely, what they did is they did a search. They saw that I lived at that residence, so on and so forth. So that was their desk audit. Do you understand?
The field.
Field audit, excuse me, field audit. Now, if you're in construction, which they require you to have a separate location, then they're going to do an actual site visit.
But your certification officer will let you know if they're going to do virtual or if they're coming out.
Do they require, did you say they require a separate, like, you can't home office if you're constructing?
You can have a home office, but they're going to require that you have a separate location. Yes.
Don't hold that you like it. Can you just have like a small office space?
Yes. Yes.
So the question was, basically, do you have to have a home office for construction? So, and it can depend too. It depends on what type of construction.
Exactly.
Because construction is huge.
Yeah.
So again, when you fill out the application, your certification officer will let you know if they're coming to do a site visit. So just keep that in mind, or if they're going to do the site visit virtually, they'll let you know. I saw a hand over
Yeah,
here.
you probably answered it, but I was curious specifically about food for home cottage business or home business. Will they do, because if you use both the commercial and your home to produce food, what would they do?
They could be. So I don't want to get into specifics because it's going to depend on what you're putting in that application. So just know with the field visit, they can come out, or they could do a virtual. If you don't want them to come out and they said that they want to come out, then you're probably not going to get the certification. So just keep that in mind.
What is the desk audit?
So the desk audit is when they're going to review your files. So they're going to check like your references and all the different documents that you've submitted. So when we talk about this certification application in the process, once you submit your application, all you're getting is emails to let you know you've moved to the next round. They're not going to call you each time and say, guess what, we're doing the desk audit. Let me talk to you about the files that you gave us. They're not doing that. So while they're doing, your application is going through the process, you should be networking, you should be looking for opportunities and still growing and starting your business, and let the application go through the process. Now, when they send you an email asking for additional information, you do need to respond. You got 2 weeks to respond. If not, then your application could be postponed or it just could be deactivated, which means they reached out to you for more information. They couldn't proceed because you didn't give them that information. So now they've totally moved on and you may have to reapply altogether.
What I also will say is once you start your application, you have 60 days to complete the application. So it is a time period. And if you get to the day 59 and you need more time, you can click a button and it'll extend the timeline. So it gives you ample opportunity to stay up to date on submitting the application. We had a question in the back over here. Yes, sir.
Storage facility to an offsite office.
Again, folks, with the specifics of what the field visits are going to get to, your certification officer will let you know what will be appropriate and where and if they're going to come out and do a field visit.
She had a question.
Yes. How about if you have more than one business or more than one type?
So a part of the application there, that is a part of the question. If you have multiple businesses, it's called affiliates. You will have to provide that information, who you are affiliated with. And that is a part of the application process.
Not a branch, different.
Yes, per different profession, yes.
So and the question was, what if you have different businesses? It depends. If you have a landscaping business named Landscaping or Us, and then you have a farming business, totally different. Farms Are Us, that's two separate applications. That's two separate businesses.
Yes, so in that's right, two separate certifications that you would get. But within each application, they're gonna ask you if you're affiliated with another business. They're gonna ask you that question, so be prepared for that. Mhm. Okay, we had a question over here, I thought. Okay, she asked it, okay, yes. ma'am.
So with that being said, same thing for both for-profit and nonprofit.
We do not certify nonprofits. That's off the table.
All right.
So I just want to share this checklist. So, and this is also accessible from our website. So you can see here where it says sole proprietorship, partnership, LLC, and corporation. So it'll tell you the documents and if you need it for your particular business structure. And we have that for the MW, SBE. I see a picture. Okay. And then getting it stuck again. Oh, okay.
Robbie, am I doing something?
What would you like to do?
There we go.
Okay.
And this is just a continuation of the checklist. I always tell people, go to the website, get the checklist and start gathering your documents together. So when you actually sit down to complete the application, you can just upload it. Put all those documents in an electronic folder and then just start uploading them instead of, oh, we need, the certificate of formation. You go and you find that, and then they need something else, and you got to go through your documents, and that just takes too long. Just go use the checklist and then sit down and do the application.
Now, part of the checklist is 2 affidavits that you need to get notarized. So you'll be able to download that from the certification list and then fill it out and sign it in front of a notary and get those notarized and upload that into the system. So that will take you a little bit of time. So just to let you know.
And then this is just another checklist. And then the checklist for the DBE, ACDBE is going to be a tad bit different. And so this gives you an idea of what's going to be needed for the DBE and ACDBE.
I have a question about the DBE. Would you give us an example of what the phone might be to get that?
So as Dr. Repeat it. So for the DBE, which is the Disability Business Enterprise, what disadvantage? Excuse me. Disadvantage. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you answer that.
Okay. So the question was, what are the requirements for DBE? So we can see here from this checklist, you're going to need your personal tax returns the past 3 years from the owner for each owner, schedule of salaries paid to all the officers, managers, owners, and or directors, a list of all the employees with the job titles and dates for employment, trust agreements held by any owner claiming disadvantaged status, and year-end balance sheets and income statements for the past 3 years. So keep in mind, disadvantage means economically disadvantaged. And so if your personal net worth exceeds 1.32 million, minus the primary residence and the investments in the business, then you would not qualify for DBE. Does that answer your question?
No, the question was, what would, so for the disadvantage, for the people that doesn't know what that means, and that can be a wide range of things, so how could we narrow it down to, okay, this type of person would be considered
right.
disadvantaged?
So I answered it. Your personal net worth has to be less than 1.32 million minus the primary residence and the investments that you put in that business. It's an economically based certification. So that's the main requirement for the disadvantaged business enterprise.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Why this is important is because if you don't qualify for minority, women, any of the other certifications, this is where everybody else falls into. that are has a lower income than the 1.3. You had a question, sir?
On the salaries part, the scheduled salaries for officers and all that, do you have to have salaries paid or not?
So if you're a sole proprietor, for example, then you and where you don't pay yourself a salary, you just do owner's draws. Then that's the statement that you will provide to them. You don't have to have a salary.
Like LLC, you do honor draws?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
For example, if we own the business, but also we have another job.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to enjoy all
You
the
do.
other receipts of the stuff.
Yes, you do have to provide them with your income that you're receiving from your job, and then also the income you're receiving from your business.
So keep in mind, y'all, when y'all are seeing this checklist, personal tax returns, what are you reporting on your personal tax returns? Your job, all those different things, right?
Yeah.
So this is a good list to look at as far as knowing the requirements for this certification and the documents you'll have to upload.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you say honor draws or owner?
Owner's draws. Sorry.
Okay,
Yes, okay, no, yes, it's owners.
You know, this thing,
Oh,
it's just gonna capture what it thinks it heard. Yeah,
right. Any other questions?
yeah. But I think I showed y'all all the slides I wanted to.
Yes, sir.
I have it's a general question about the, what the needs are, like, you know, I'm in business to do, I'm a consultant, but do I have to go look for a checklist of, oh, okay, let me see what I would qualify for? Or what they would need from me, or is it that, okay, I have a service that,
So I think you're talking about the bid process, right?
well,
Yes.
just anything, if I'm, you know, I'm in the business of doing this, but do I have to go look for a list to see what they need that I
So,
can provide, or?
so the question is there a list that, as a business owner, do you have to go and find a list of what you can provide? So his question is not about certification. So when you're talking about, he's talking about doing business with an agency, doing business with the city. So how that works is that the city, what we do is we put out a list of bid solicitations. This says, this is what we want to buy today. Who can provide this? Whoever can provide it, submit us a bid on it. And then from all the folks who bidded on it, we'll make the selection based off of the criteria we put, and then we'll award that person a contract. That's how that works.
So you do want to, because I think some people will just go to the agency's website and look for things that they could, possibly do business with them. You want to be true to yourself because you don't want to overextend yourself. You don't want to say that you can do painting when, all you really do is trim work. So you want to make sure you're true to your business and do that. Now, there's nothing wrong with collaborating and expanding and all that good stuff, but be true to your business model. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
So my understanding in the application, when we're doing all this, these financials are required for years, articles and all that stuff, we'll be able to upload it directly.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
So you want me to
Yeah.
repeat the question?
Okay, so the question was, will you be able to upload all the required documents into the portal? And yes, that is true. You can. Okay. All right, so we have come to, actually, we've gone over, but we weren't expecting so many people, and we are glad that you're here. Please come back. As you can see on the screen, we have 3 more meetings coming up, 2 of which will be here in person, but the 3rd one in December, yes, is the Meet the Buyer. This is your opportunity to shake hands with the buyer of the products and services that you're offering. And what this is, and what we've explained over the years, I can say years now, is that it's all about relationships. You want to get in front of the individuals that are making the decisions, because as you can imagine, especially in popular, industries like construction, there's hundreds of organizations out there. But if they've shook your hand and you've made a conversation, a follow up, there's more likely that they'll, have some, interest in what you're able to provide. And you can go back onto the YouTube channel and watch our previous podcast or presentations to understand what we're talking about in depth about the relationship. And there's various topics on that. Next month it will be contract management, which is October 5th. It's always the first Thursday of the month at 1 p.m. in this room. And we're talking about, over this year, we've talked about the bidding process, excuse me, the certification process, the bidding process. Now we're talking about managing the contract once you receive it. Most of you in the room, or if not all of you in the room, have not received contracts yet, but you do want to be privy to that information so you understand what you're getting into. This is now, you know, it's one thing to do business with clients, it's one thing to do business with corporations and other businesses, but you're doing business with the government. So this is no playtime. So we have to have everything in order. And so next month we will talk about what that means. And then the following month is how to manage all of this using QuickBooks. Okay. Any questions as we close?
And save the date for Meet the Buyer,
Yes,
which
sorry.
is Thursday, December 7th, 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. downtown at the George R. Brown.
Yes.
Hall E, as in Edward.
Is there a charge for that one?
No, I'm glad you asked that.
Yes.
There is not a charge. We just want you to register and come, as they say, prepared.
And there's
Come
all types of
prepared.
agencies there.
Yeah.
The Minority Supplier Development Council is usually
There
there.
are business support organizations,
Yes.
folks that can help you to write your bid, folks that actually help you with your certifications, local and federal certifications. Those agencies are there.
Apex Accelerator, who is
Yep.
one of them.
Yep. Small
Score.
Business Development Center, as well as some of our primes who are looking for subcontractors. They will be there, and CenterPoint Energy is our title sponsor, so their primes will be there looking for subcontractors. So let's make sure y'all get certified.
HCC will be there.
Yes.
HCC in all of their
Goldman Sachs,
offices,
MBA,
right?
Goldman Sachs,
will
all of
be
that.
there. So
Usually there.
make sure y'all get certified and start that process. And if you don't know, if you don't have a capability statement, you can help them
I
with
can
that.
help you with that.
Yes.
Yes, either through Score or through my business. Reach out to me.
Yes.
I have my card here. Our information is on the last slide here. So you can reach out to us through email, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. We will provide the slides to you so that you'll have those resources available to you. Thank you for joining us. We look forward. Yes, sir.
Do you have counterparts in other cities within Texas?
Who, Score? Yes, so SCORE is a national organization. We are the largest chapter in the United States with over 160 volunteers. So if you're unable to find someone within our organization, it would be a hard stretch. But there will be, you know, New York. I've mentored people in California, Florida. So there's more than one. Yes, and there's also more than one location in Texas as well as Houston. Okay, absolutely, absolutely. So thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you.